Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to my channel. This is the sixth episode of our Ramzan series, and we'll be making papri. I'll show you how to make the chaat as well, but before I'm going to show you how to make homemade papri. So these are little crunchy stuff that goes on top of chickpea, the chickpea chaat that people make. This is not necessary for chaat, but it just tastes good if you do put it. Now you will need 1/2 cup of normal ground flour and 1/2 cup of all-purpose flour. Now next you will be needing salt. You'll be needing only half a teaspoon of salt. Unless you like the stuff salty, then you could put a whole teaspoon, but I would suggest just doing half teaspoon. And then you will need cumin seeds. Cumin seeds you'll be putting 1 teaspoon. And now the cumin seeds will be whole. You're not using ground cumin seeds here, but if you do not like the taste of cumin seeds, you could skip this part. And if you don't like to just like bite into cumin seeds or anything like that, then you could use ground cumin seeds. But if you'll be using ground cumin seeds, then only put half a teaspoon, not a whole teaspoon. Now you'll be needing around 3 tablespoons of oil, and you'll be using lukewarm water for this. And same as the parathas, you won't be using too much water. So I used around a cup of water, but I put it in slowly. And the first time I actually made this, I didn't need that much water. I just put in a little bit at a time. And what I did was that after I was done kneading it, I let it sit in plastic wrap for a little bit because the water was a little bit on the warmer side. So I didn't want it to be, I wanted to like cool down a little bit before I actually work with it. Now what you do is you take half of the dough and you make it into a ball and make huge roti, like a huge round circle with this. You're gonna thin it out as much as you can. So if you can thin it out to the point that it is see-through, that is great. But if you can't, it won't. The thing is that when you fry this, it will kind of become bubbly on the surface, and it'll get like really crunchy and airy from inside. If you don't get it too thin, it won't happen. It won't get like bubbly. It will still fry, but it will be a little bit doughy from inside, and you don't want that. So you're gonna make it into a circle, thin out the sides, leave the middle of the roti like thick, so that it makes it easier to roll it out. And now make sure that your surface is well floured, because you're doing it really, really thin. It will start sticking. Now the next step is actually really easy. What you need to do is you need to cut them into diamond shapes. Now you have to make sure that you're not doing it too fast. I kind of ended up trying to cut it too fast, and my lines were all over the place. And since there are cumin seeds in it, you need to press a little bit harder. If you're using a pizza cutter, if you're just using your normal knife, then you won't have this problem. But if you're using a pizza cutter, it makes it so much faster to do, and it cuts cleaner and everything. Now once you cut them into diamond shapes, this is the hard part. You need your oil to be heated to the right temperature, so it can't be too hot where you start seeing smoke coming out of your oil, but it needs to be hot enough that right when you put the dough in, it fries and it starts bubbling up. Now I would suggest doing this right next to the stove, because you need to pick them up one at a time, right? Because if you throw them all in together, which I do in this video, I threw them all in together mostly because my daughter was standing right next to me, and she was messing around with the rest of the dough, so I had to do it fast. But try to do it right next to the stove, and just put it in one by one, so you could retain that diamond shape. And some of them do. So if you just grab it and throw it in, like if you just take a fistful of them and try and throw it in, some of them do retain their shape, and some of them don't. But it's like it's one of those things that you try them. First time might not come out good. The second time you do it, it might get better. It's one of those things that practice makes better type of thing. But it'll always taste the same. So if it doesn't look all that great, it will still taste really good. So don't worry if your first one comes out a little not diamondy. As long as it tastes good, you're fine. Now there is one tip. If you just throw them in and leave them in the oil, they will start getting brown from one side and not the other. What I suggest doing is that just keep on pushing them around in the oil so they're never on one side for that long, so that you get a nice color. It's not too dark, it's not too light. It's actually cooked and it's like an amber color. It does taste different when you just let it fry on its own and then take it out. And if you push it around and you're mixing it in the oil, that has a different taste. Now for the chaat, you'll be needing tomatoes, green peppers, chili peppers, and then you'll be needing green onions. If you don't have green onions, you'll just need one medium onion. And then if you are using canned chickpeas, you'll be needing 2 cans. If you don't use canned chickpeas, then you'll need around 3 cups of cooked chickpeas. You'll be putting half a lemon, juiced of course, half a lemon in there, and you'll be putting around a teaspoon of chaat masala. Now, no, this chaat masala is not homemade. It's actually store-bought. Inshallah, soon I will be making a video of how to make homemade chaat masala. And now all you have to do is just mix it around, put it into a nice tray. And this is a fun part. This is actually an optional part too. So if you don't like this, you don't have to. It's yogurt. So I didn't make that much. I could give you the quantity of according to what I made. So I made around half a cup of yogurt with a teaspoon and a half, or I think it was 2 teaspoons of sugar. Now just remember, this is a optional step. I personally like it because it gives it a different taste, because then you have a little bit sweet and you have chili together, and you don't put that much yogurt in the chaat anyways. So once you just mix those 2 ingredients together and you drizzle the yogurt on top. Now once your yogurt's fully drizzled on top, that's when you throw your papri on. And I do this where I sometimes put a little bit of yogurt on top of the papri, but if you like your papri crunchy, I wouldn't suggest doing this. So once your papri is on the chaat, you can serve the chaat with a side of imli chutney, or the green chutney, which is made from mint and coriander. And it tastes good just like that. You don't need any chutneys on the side. But if you do like chutneys, those 2 chutneys go well with this. Inshallah, we'll be having different videos during this Ramadan. Please stay tuned for more videos.